Oh yeah, I will own a jet. Like, in the foreseeable future, I will have my own jet. Okay, so something that I wanted to discuss quickly is how fake a lot of gurus and influencers are on the internet. And how do I know this? Because number one, my buddy is a pilot. Okay, so you see a lot of influencer. What?
I know exactly.
Yeah.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Exactly, because I probably said it before. So my buddy's a pilot, and you see a lot of influencers and all these people that are like, you know, doing shit for clout on the internet and trying to promote their status and things like that. So my buddy, he also flew private. Okay, so he was working at Air Transat. They started requiring certain things, you know, during the last 2 to 3 years. A lot of you can probably imagine what those things were. He didn't agree with it. Mm-hmm. They ended up laying him off or temporary. I don't know what the whole deal was there. Well, he ended up getting a job flying private for people, like their private jets. And I'm talking these people are real private jet owners. Now, the way that the private jet industry works is he wasn't hired directly by the person that owns the jet. He was hired by the management company that maintains and manages the jet for the person that owns the jet. Mm-hmm. And in the time when that person is not using the jet, they charter the jet. Mm-hmm. Okay? But that one pilot is allocated for that specific person that actually owns the jet. So when that guy says jump, he fucking jumps. Yeah. Okay? Gets paid very, very well. Like, not as much as when you were working at Air Transat, but he got paid, a handsome salary to basically only really work fucking 7-10 days a month. So they put you up in a hotel. He's got to put you up in a hotel. Whatever. You get the whole spiel. So the interesting thing about this, though, is even in that scenario, number one, you get a lot of people that will tell you they own a jet when they're in a jet, but it's not their jet, okay? Then you get a lot of people that will take pictures in that jet that tell you they own that jet, but it's not their jet. Mm-hmm. Then you get even people that will pay to take pictures in the jet, tell people they own the jet, but do nothing else but take pictures in the jet. Don't even fly anywhere. They don't fly anywhere. They don't go anywhere. The pilots will set themselves up. They'll get dressed. Like all that shit. Or in the hangar, they'll just have staged like people in fucking outfits. So like, I didn't know that happened until my buddy basically brought that up to me, that's actually a thing, right? So then the other day, I come across an article. Connor, see if you could find this and pull it up. I come across an article that says there's literally what do you call those things where studios? There's studios set up as fake shit where it's like it looks like you're in a jet, but you're not in a jet.
Where it's just like a section of like a plane.
It's not even a section. It's made to look like a section of a plane.
Oh, so it's a set.
It's a complete set, studio, whatever you want to call it.
Oh man,
completely fake. And that's what they do. Then Dave from fucking LA here tells me, oh, there's warehouses full of cars and full of all kinds of shit that influencers can go to and just film whatever they want in whatever car that they want to make it look like they own the car, and they're taking video of like this and taking video. I actually didn't realize that it was that prevalent. Then I started talking to people in Toronto about this. I started, because I have a relationship with the Lamborghini dealership in Toronto. I know a couple people still there. And they're like, oh yeah, they're all over the place. And I'm like, what the fuck? I had no idea. But when I think of it now, it totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck would you invest all that money? When you could just fool all kinds of fucking people. You might as well just do it. You might as well just fake it until you actually make it. If that's the type of person you are, obviously, right? Like if you're trying to sell a program, you're trying to sell your bullshit advice or whatever, and people see you in that kind of setting, it is believable. They do a very good job. I saw a couple of pictures, and it was like a very well done job. I've only been in I've only been in a few private jets. I've actually never even flown in a private jet. I've never really had to have I don't do shit like that. But I've been in private jets because my buddy is a pilot and he's, I've been in them and all that kind of shit.
For photo shoots.
Oh yeah, I've been in there photo shoots all the time. Yeah. So I've been in them and these fake sets look very real. They're very real, but they're not. Obviously, they're small, right? You could just they've had like a profile on the side to make it look like fucking round. It's crazy. I'm telling you, it is wild. So the whole point of this is, guys, you got to be really careful who the fuck you're listening to, because this is a for real thing, and this is a legit thing out there that people can pay a very small amount of money to be able to fool you.
Yeah. If you're about to pay somebody money for business advice that it takes you longer than 1 minute to find out what their business was, and the only thing that you can find is them selling business educational content.
Yeah.
Like, run.
Yeah. And this is why, I don't want people to, and I think that's a great concept. I got to be honest. Like, I wish I would have fucking started something like that, to be honest with you, where it's like, hey, come on in and take pictures with my cars, and maybe upstairs in one of the unused offices or whatever, we set up a fucking private jet studio. Like, who the fuck knows what? I don't know, right? Like, where it's just like, people sitting there leaning back. Hey, you ever see that with their legs crossed, smoking a cigar in their private jet?
Yeah.
All that shit's fucking fake. Like, because like people don't understand, like they see people in a private jet. Like, this is what's also funny. They see people in a private jet and they're like, holy shit, that guy's in a fucking private jet. He's got to be worth like, hundreds of millions of dollars and all that shit. Like, it really only costs a couple $1,000s to get on a fucking jet. Like, you could charter a jet for, I think it's like, it's not that much money. It's like $8,000. So think about this. What a lot of people do is especially on bachelor parties. This happens a lot on bachelor parties. So consider this. Say you got a bachelor party of 8 guys. Okay, a lot of planes, a reasonable private jet will have like 8 to 10 seats in it. So consider this. You have a bachelor party. You're going down to Florida to golf. Okay, you're gonna spend about $1,000 on a decent seat. Maybe call it business class or whatever on a regular plane. You might as well fucking hand over. Maybe I call it an extra couple $100 or whatever, and rent a private jet, right? And have all your buddies on the private jet for like $8,000 to $10,000, and you're only $1,000, maybe call it maybe $2,000. That's even a stretch. Like, my buddy never flew for like more than that.
Yeah,
and it's really not actually that much money. So a lot of people get fooled with this whole like private jet thing, where it's like, holy shit, that guy's in a jet for number one, it might not even be real. Okay. Number two, it's probably not, it might not even be a jet that he's even flying in. It might even be just a jet that he's taking pictures in or videos or whatever the fuck in. And it's just really odd to me. And I remember seeing this. This is what I also thought was odd. So again, I have an insider view on what it takes to own a jet. I understand what pilots make, again, because of my buddy. I know what it costs for hangars. I know what it costs for maintenance. I know what it costs for the jet. I've spoken to the bank about buying a jet.
Yeah, because you've even looked into it.
Oh yeah, I will own a jet. Like, in the foreseeable future, I will have my own jet. Yeah. But I won't use it. I won't have a new jet. It'll be a used jet. My buddy will fly it for me. Like, legit, I'll hire him. I will rent a hangar space locally here in Windsor, or maybe not even in Windsor, maybe Detroit, like somewhere, another small pilot or another small airport, whatever, Chatham, who the fuck knows where. And I'll charter it out. So I won't just be me flying it. I'll charter it under my
Luxxis VIP.
Luxxis VIP, which is my limo service, and I'll charter that kind of shit out. Because I know that me and my buddies even would use a private jet scenario if we had one. Given the situation that I just told you, it's not much more expensive than business class on a regular fucking flight. It's really not that much. It might be double that. So if you're $500, $600, it might be double that, and it's kind of worth it. You don't have to deal with dumb shit. You pull right up to the terminal. It's way better. You eat whatever the fuck you want. So it's a really cool scenario. But I have a very interesting insider look on that, which maybe a lot of people that are listening to this may not have. And I know that a lot of people that you see on the internet, they're fucking fronting, and they are not legitimate about what they are telling you because of what my buddies, what he exposed to me. And then actually talking to other people and seeing this article, I was like fucking flabbergasted. I didn't even know these kind of studios and sets even existed, but it totally makes sense in this day and age when people, need clout to be able to sell their bullshit. It's wild. What I was getting to is somewhere in this whole spiel here about private jets and people being fake is that's why I include all of my companies below. It's not because I necessarily want people to buy my shit, although that is an obvious reason. One of the reasons why we're doing all this is to gain notoriety on the internet and
to promote the businesses.
Yeah, to be more exposed to more eyes to promote the business. I'm not going to fucking sit here and lie to anybody.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why I also do it is because so that I have viable businesses that I've worked very hard to scale to become successful, and you could see them. I don't understand why, like you mentioned, it's so difficult for people to find what people do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't understand. The only thing that I think is because they maybe they don't want you to actually see what they actually do because they'll then be exposed. I don't know why, but I don't have a good answer for that. Anyways.